Okay, so we're going to talk about the May 26th lunar eclipse in Scorpio. In 5 minutes, you're going to get all the details. One of the things you want to do is make sure and click the card, the pop-up here, and join the free web class that I did that outlines this nodes in Taurus and Scorpio axis. I did this last September. It's going to be active through next year, through 2022, through March of 2022. So make sure and do that. And also, of course, sign up and join the channel, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell to get updates like this. So, May 26th, we have the lunar eclipse in Scorpio in Anuradha Nakshatra. Now, the nodes have been in this axis since last September, as I said. Ketu eclipsing this moon in Scorpio. It's a debilitated moon, so it means our emotions are quite volatile and tense. We're feeling it now already, but as we get closer to that eclipse, really watch your negative and toxic emotions like jealousy, stress, fear, projected and imagined fears, and that could be also just a sort of paranoia even about the world, conspiracies, all of that kind of stuff that feels bigger than you. The biggest issue and problem with Scorpio is control and loss of control and feeling vulnerable because of the things we can't control. And guess what? You don't have control over very much. You have this illusion of control most of the time, but through Scorpio we really sense and know that we're actually quite vulnerable. And we become aware of this when people die, things leave, and because we're aware, let's say, of someone that we love or something that we love that gives us a sort of connection to our feelings and our emotions, which really feels like this connection to the life force itself. Because we have a sense of this, in Scorpio, we also feel where we're vulnerable. Because what if that thing gets taken away? It's kind of like a mother who is terrified that her child will die, or someone who is terrified that that thing that they love so much is going to die or leave them. Then what we do is we try to assert all this control over it. And this is that Scorpio, the sort of negative quality of Scorpio is that control and the sort of even kind of manipulating situations and people and energy to try to keep that thing that we want. It's fixed water, and fixed water can get very stagnant. So again, in the highest sense though, fixed water can be very stable. Ultimately, we're trying to stabilize the emotions. But again, think of how restless emotions are. It's like water. Water is always moving, right? So we try to stabilize it in Scorpio. The real key here is devotion. And Scorpio can be very devoted, and they need to connect with pure love, pure devotional love, not emotional attachment kind of thing and the external form of what we love, but the quality of the heart that is deeper than just the surface emotions and the attachments that we have and the things that we try to control. Going deeper into that is the lesson of Scorpio. So your devotional practices to your guru, your meditation, even simple forms of love like that we have for animals or that we have for nature, or things that are simplistic where we're not possessive. This is the negative quality of Scorpio, and we all need to be careful of that right now because the eclipse can really blow that thing up. Now, since Ketu, the South Node, has been in Scorpio since last September, we're processing a lot of that right now, and we're trying to see deeper than just our triggering. This is why there's a lot of conspiratorial thinking right now, but there's also a lot of examination of our conspiracy tendencies. There's been a lot of people who've really turned their back on the sort of conspiratorial thinking that they were into months ago. We're really sort of coming out of a lot of that, where we're applying a lot more discrimination and going, I kind of got a little off there. Now I realize, okay, I was just kind of paranoid, but things aren't really as bad as I thought. Now again, so we're trying, this is what Ketu does, is he really examines things with a relentless focus. Now again, the one thing that I wanted to also mention was this nakshatra of Anuradha is the nakshatra of devotion and being devotional, being devoted to something higher. It's ruled by Radha, is a very powerful symbol, who was the great friend of Lord Krishna and his most ardent devotee. the goddess Mitra, which is about friendship, friendliness. Again, not possessiveness. Think of how you are with your friends. God as divine friend, as Mitra, is a very beautiful and uplifting symbol. So rather than get so attached and possessive, think of how you are with your friends, how you're much more spacious and much more gracious and much less possessive and controlling, and really connect with that part of yourself that is very friendly, that is very devoted and very loyal. All of these powerful things are, the real hidden keys of Scorpio and of this eclipse especially. Last couple things, we also have Mercury changing signs, moving into Gemini on that day, which brings a lot of discrimination, but he's also stationed. So he's just poking his head in Gemini, then he's going to go back into Taurus again. So we could feel kind of stuck in our ideas a little bit. So, be careful of that kind of rigid thinking, because Mercury is about to go retrograde, stationary retrograde. But he just pokes his head in Gemini on that day, so it could mean that that day is a little bit restless and what we call Vata. And then, of course, we also have the other planetary configurations. Jupiter in Aquarius, as we're looking more toward our social contract with each other. Saturn is still in Capricorn, helping us to land and embody our teachings and practices. And we still have Sun, Rahu, Venus in Taurus, which are also quite stabilizing. So there's a lot of stability here and a lot that we could really get through, to help us get through it. Mars is also still in Gemini as well, so be careful arguing about, details and things like that. So we went over 5 minutes a little bit, but we did a good job here. And again, make sure and join that free web class where I talked about the nodes in the Scorpio Taurus axis. And also make sure to subscribe to the channel and ring the bell to get updates like this.